get elected, you can't hire all your buddies and cousins and uncles. And I'm not saying he's done that. It certainly has happened in the past.
Yeah. That sign, for some reason, we're cockeyed.
Yeah. Let's scoot the table over a little bit.
Well, we'd actually have to go your way. See?
Well, they're running out of camera. That's a little better.
Want to make any adjustments?
Well, the sign's not center.
Okay, yeah, we can fix that.
No, that's fine. We'll go with it for tonight.
You sure? We just scoot that camera over. They have to pan it out a little to compensate.
Let me know the center.
Right there. That's better.
Better?
Yes.
What I want to do is
Gotta get see the numbers. It's the angle. Something different.
yeah. Kathy Goins.
Yeah, I can wait for that to start getting. Thanks, appreciate it.
Thanks.
Okay, if you guys are ready, we'll start your opening.
Make sure you put us on the radio too.
You are on. Vic's back there taking care of that right now.
Oh, he's the man.
Opening play. Live in 3, 2, now.
Welcome to the Thursday night edition of Just Sports. Welcome to your hometown Sears studio. My name is Les Martin, along with our executive producer, Jason Shockley.
I'm Brent Allen.
We certainly want to thank all of our sponsors before we get started. This wonderful hour of sports that we've got. Of course, we could be like Patrick Peedley and have the Geek Squad show.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
All right.
I think we'd make pretty good geeks, though.
Oh, sure. I can be a geek.
I could, too. I already wear the glasses. I just don't have them on tonight.
Ah, good point.
Anyway, we want to say thank you to Rainbow Ford, folks. They're home of the guaranteed financing. Their phone number is 562-2251. If you have good credit, bad credit, bankruptcy, and if I say good credit, it is the home of the guaranteed financing. If you've got bad credit, if you've got bankruptcy, they treat you just like you're someone that has good credit.
They can work with you.
Absolutely. That's what you're looking for. That's the place to go is Rainbow Ford. They also have extended service hours from 9 until 1 every Saturday. Call and make your appointment. Get your vehicle ready for winter, because winter is surely upon us, as well as it's been pretty cold.
Yeah, it's certainly cold.
Really cold. And we've had more cold snaps than we have warm snaps. I guess it's warm snaps and cold snaps. Is there such a thing?
I don't know. It's not been much of a snap. It's been cold for quite a while, and apparently I think it's going to get up around 50 this weekend, and then back down next week.
Well, at least it's getting warm on the weekend and cold during the week when we work, right?
Just on Sunday though. It's cold Saturday.
Well, folks, we certainly want to thank Rainbow Ford for everything they do as well. Their phone number is 562-2251. Also, we want to say thank you to Sears. Your hometown Sears store has everything that you need inside and outside of your home. It doesn't really matter. They've got you covered. Men, they've got the tools. Ladies, they've got the kitchens. Men, they've got the kitchens. Ladies, they've got the tools. That is a hint for ladies. Go buy your men some tools, and men, go buy your ladies some appliances. I use a lot of appliances, though.
Well, certainly.
I know you do as well.
Absolutely.
I called Brent the other day, and sorry to get sidetracked here, but this is a pretty good story. I called Brent the other day, and he answered the phone, and he was cooking. And I forget exactly what he was cooking, but my statement to him was, I'll let you go so you don't burn the food. And he said, no, I can do multiple things at once. Very good. So that's the way I took it. That wasn't his exact words, but that's the way I took it. And a man that's confident in the kitchen like that, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, a lot of mouths to feed.
Absolutely. Folks, Sears, their phone number is 562-7700. Also, we want to say thank you to Bird Screen Printing, downtown La Follette beside the Birch Memorial Bridge. Their phone number is 562-3044. Baseball season's upon us, as well as any other sign that you may need, political sign, hats, hoodies, shirts, uniforms. They've got it. Call Larry, Colby, and Don at Bird Screen Printing. They'll take care of you top to bottom. It doesn't matter, from head to toe. They've got all the clothes that you need for your sports teams or just for the parents.
Hey, if you're going to coach this year, now would be the time. Go ahead and start looking at what kind of uniforms you want to get. That way, like last year, I think there may have been some stock issues because of so many people at the same time going, and that was with the company that supplies. So it's a good idea. Hit it now.
I agree. It's one of those situations to where if you know you're going to coach, go ahead and get you some uniforms picked out, get them ordered.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, you might not know the sizes just yet, but you can figure out what it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's
true. I agree. I kind of got ahead of myself there.
Well, me too. I was thinking it'd be a great idea, but you don't know what size your kids are. But you can still figure out. You have to figure out what kind of a design and all that stuff.
Right, but here's the deal. If you're a coach like Matt Murray, Brian Leach, those types of guys that's got the same kids and has had the same kids for quite some time,
pretty good idea. They
could probably get their stuff ordered now.
Yeah.
So, Bird Screen Printing, folks, that's the place you need to get all your screen printing needs. 562-3044. Also, Charlie's Pizza for 39 long years. They have been doing pizza right, often imitated, never duplicated. Charlie's Pizza. Their phone number is 562-0116. If you'd like to have a call-in order, or if you'd like to go in and sit down, it's a great family environment to take your family and have a nice pizza or anything else for that matter. You can have just about anything they've got on the menu.
Can you get a meatball sandwich there?
I'm going to say yes, Charlie.
just curious. I was just curious about that.
I would think you'd be able to get one. That meatballs is Italian, right? Because they're in spaghetti, and spaghetti is apparently Italian food. Yeah. Pizza's Italian, right? Yeah. Lasagna, stuff like that.
They do the steak. What are they called? The Philly cheese.
Oh yeah, Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah. So I was just curious.
And they have the chicken Philly.
Yeah, good stuff.
And I love the chicken breast just in the oven with mozzarella cheese or provolone cheese and mushrooms.
Can't go wrong.
Oh, I think it's wonderful. Also, folks, we want to say thank you to the folks who made it possible for us. And I keep talking about this, about the offense and defensive player of the award a week winner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the place that has provided with us each and every week an offense and defensive plaque for the offensive.
Yeah, donated.
I mean,
yeah, free of charge. They did all the work, made up all the plaques for each game, dated them,
right?
Everything. Really nice.
All-Star Awards. That's right. All-Star Awards across the highway from Sonic. Their phone number is 562-6761. We certainly want to say thank you to those folks, and great job. Also, I've got to give a shout out to the Follett Country Club again. This is a place, folks, where you can go and play golf to where you don't have to drive many miles. It's right here in town. They have a nice facility. They have a nice pool. If you're not a member, maybe now's the time that you can become a member. You can call them at 562-9130. Not only you get many benefits as playing golf, as many times as you'd like with the membership, you also can be in a situation to where you can go spend your time at the pool, lay around, relax, instead of
there's no fee. I mean, you pay your dues, and you can go play just anytime.
That's right.
That's amazing. That's great.
It's awesome. So 562-9130. Talk to Mr. Richard Comer. He'll take care of you, and need to get it started.
That's right.
Need to get it started. I would anyway. Hey, we're going to talk about Roger Goodell real quick.
Yeah, I'm interested about this.
Roger Goodell says that he would not be opposed to the national football players using medical marijuana. Now, here's his whole ordeal behind that, is the fact that if it will help concussions with nausea and things like that, and of course it's got to be classified as quote unquote medical marijuana. You know as well as I do, how many times have you heard of players being suspended from the National Football League, even college, that used marijuana, yet they still suffer the symptoms of concussions? CTE is one of those. It is a. I'm not want to say a disease, but it is a. It's something to where. What word am I looking for here? Help me out. It's not a disease. It's a.
Yeah.
You know.
I know what you're saying. I just can't think of it either.
The bottom line is, it is a result of a concussion.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help CTE. It only helps with the nausea. And the bottom line is the fact that if you say it's okay for medical marijuana, I mean, let's face it. Seattle, Washington, or Washington, and Denver or Colorado, both of those is in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be called the Smoke Bowl or the Bud Bowl.
Pot bowl.
Pot Bowl, something, because that's the only two states that has legalized marijuana. Now, I just wonder if Roger Goodell has felt pressure out of the fact that we have states now that will or have legalized it, and other states looking at it. But I guess my question is it the right thing for the commissioner of the National Football League saying it's okay, or he's okay with the fact that as long as it proves to help with nausea, with concussions, to use medical marijuana?
I'm not buying it, Les, and I'll tell you why. There's a thing called phenogrin that's been around for many years, and that's exactly what it's for. And there's a lot of other ones, that I don't know the names of. Heck, Sprite works great. I mean, when you're nauseous.
Right.
It's just to me that's just an excuse. I think they've had so many players. Remember Travis Henry? He seemed to be always getting
busted
for THC. In my opinion, I think it's just a way for them to, or it's easier for him to say, you know what, guys, I don't care what you do as long as you don't do this. You can do that, but not this. It just makes it easier on them. What
would lead you to believe that, let's just say, some of these football players wouldn't smoke some marijuana just prior to a football game?
Oh, I'm sure
would it not be I don't know exactly the effect, just to be honest. I mean, I don't know the effect that it has on the body. I don't know if it is a drug that they can use to give them an upper hand during a football game.
No, it wouldn't be a performance-enhancing drug. That wouldn't be. I couldn't see it being used for that. I mean, it's more of a sedative type, relaxing. you know, it's not the kind of thing that you would want to use, I wouldn't think, for something like that. But the bottom line is they're using it now, and there's a lot of guys getting away with it. They've got all kinds of products out there to clean your system, and you know, I don't think they're taking it very seriously anyway in the NFL. I don't think they're really trying too hard. I think that it's become a part of the way of life for some of these guys, and I mean, it's unfortunate. The problem I have with it is, what message does it send to our children? It's illegal. Okay, you make it legal. I still don't want my kids doing it. You know?
Right.
I mean, it's no different than alcohol or anything else. It's not. You know, if you've got people that you look up to, and regardless of, you know, how you raise your children, they're going to look at these players, and whatever sport, be it baseball, basketball, football, or hockey, or whatever they look at, whatever they enjoy, and they're going to get some kind of they're going to try to emulate those guys in some way.
Right.
And I certainly wouldn't want it to be. I wouldn't want to hear one of my kids say, "Well, it's okay, Dad. You know, Peyton Manning does it, or whoever. You know,
right.
Whoever." I'm against it. I say that it. I mean, if the state legalizes it, that's fine. That's the state. That's not the NFL.
It still puts us in a situation to where, like you said, a lot of kids nowadays look up, and they shouldn't. I mean, let's face it. They look up to a lot of sports ball players as a hero, as their idol. And when you do that, when a young child does that, I mean, for a long time, you heard the old saying, the old adage, and I know you know what I'm about to say, or at least I think you do. Michael Jordan was one that brought an old saying, "I want to be like Mike." Do you remember that saying?
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's one of those situations. Godell says, according to Daniel Kaplan of the Sports Business Journal, that he would consider letting NFL players use medical marijuana for concussion issues. I'm with you. What's happened to Finnegan? It's been out there, like you said, for years.
And there's all kinds of other things. What's the other guy? He played at Miami, Ricky Waters? Is that his name? Ricky Waters?
No.
What was his name?
That
the running back.
He played at Texas and
Yes.
left and went to and played for the played for Miami Dolphins.
Then he went off on some sabbatical for a couple of years and came back.
And probably stayed stoned the whole time he was
gone. The guy was
gone.
a stoner the whole time, and they kept catching him, and I'm sure there's a lot of times he got away with it. I don't know. I just can't see it. I would have to be against it. I don't know how else to say it. You know, I just don't see how it could help anything, and I'm not going to accept the fact that it's it's for medical reasons. Now, certainly, I don't want people calling in and telling me all the medical uses. I realize that there are some legitimate medical uses, but I don't think that's one of them.
Well,
I think just because you're nauseous from a concussion, go take some Finnegan and take a nap.
I agree. I agree 100%. It's and the thing about it is there has been at least some thought that the medical marijuana helps with some of the post-concussion symptoms, such as depression and nausea.
Depression. Since when is depression? I don't understand that.
Well,
I've never heard of that.
I've never heard of that either.
Well, that's probably some guy that likes to smoke pot who's come up with that, and that's his idea.
Well,
I mean, I've had many concussions, and I don't recall any depression coming along with it. And
nor have I. And I had one good concussion when I was about 13 years old that I thought I was about to pass over the big river.
Yeah, me too. I was about the same age as well. Went blind for about 6 seconds, 8 seconds, something like that. Had to be led back. It was pretty ugly.
It's I don't know. It's kind of crazy. It's one of those things that, of course, marijuana right now is banned by the NFL. But at the same time, this is an interesting way to allow, like you were saying.
What's next? If you allow that, it's a gateway.
It's just a big snowball effect. It's
Yeah.
going to continue to roll downhill, and it's going to get bigger as we go. So the bottom line is the fact that Roger Goodell said he's open to it. I think he's looking for a way out, just to be honest with you, to legalize the fact that they can use it, because I promise you, these teams have their own doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what that own doctor can do under pressure from the organization, simply because that doctor draws a paycheck from that organization, and say, if our players need it, this is what you do.
Mm-hmm.
You give them a prescription for medical marijuana, and guess what? They can go sit back and do whatever they need to do. Yeah, I think it's a bad idea. It's also, Roger Goodell was talking about doing away with the extra point.
Yeah, that was interesting. I don't know. I heard several different scenarios, not his, but what other guys were coming up with, talk show hosts and stuff. I don't know. I understand where they're coming from. I mean, I think they said out of 1,400 extra points, there are only 4 missed, I think.
Right.
I mean, it's such an easy thing for these guys. I mean, these guys can kick 50, 60-yard field goals. That's a joke. I mean, that's nothing to them. You know, basically, it's got to be a bad snap or it gets blocked somehow. That's about the only way you're going to miss it, and that's very rare because you're so close. I wouldn't have a problem. I heard somebody today say just get rid of the extra point altogether. Instead of, they were talking about backing it up and making it 2 points if it's past a certain point or something.
15-yard line.
Yeah, I don't think that's the way to go. I think if we're going to do it, just get rid of the extra point and make them go for 2 every time. You know, because that's an actual challenge, and you know you can only run a certain play. Like an extra point, it's the exact same every time. You come out, you know, everybody lines up the same. There's no trick. There's no anything. Whereas if you come out and go for a 2-point conversion, and let's say that you score 5 touchdowns, you can't run the same play 5 times in a row and it worked.
Right.
You're going to have to use a little bit of knowledge and some scheming to try to get that done.
I'm thinking if you back it up to the 15-yard line, I think is to kick the extra point, and then to go for 2, they move it up to the 2-yard line. But I'm thinking it would be better suited for folks to be backed up at the 15-yard line, especially if you're Peyton Manning, and go for 2 points from the 15.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
I don't know if it'll go.
I'm a traditionalist, and I always got after Brackett because he was a traditionalist.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to the sports and the rules and things like that, I'm seriously a traditionalist. I mean, leave it the way it is. Well,
I agree.
Fix what, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I mean, the one thing I would probably disagree on that is currently, we have the ability, we have the technology to review every play, and this can be done in a matter of seconds. It shouldn't change anything as far as the time of the game. When you look at Navarro Bowman's injury and the fact that he was, that the ball was stolen from him way after he was on the ground, way after he was down. It wasn't even close. That should have been changed, and I think that at this point they need to go ahead and review every single play, and if there's an issue, they can hold it up. If there's not an issue, nobody knows. They just review it. I mean, how many times do we sit at home and watch the replay of something while they're running the next play?
Right. While they're waiting to get the play in or whatever. Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air.
Yes, I'd like to vote for Donnie Poston.
Okay, you can do that on 1450WLAF.com.
Oh, I thought you can't call in.
Right now we're doing a sports show, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Well, they told me to call in 1450.
Okay, I will make sure I'll pass that information along to our producer.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Voting for Donnie Poston.
Yep.
That's good. Folks, tonight at 9:35, just right after the break, we're going to have Jalen Manning, the running back from Carthage, Tennessee, from Smith County High School, to call in. He's a young man that's a remarkable young man from what we could tell. Everything about him seems to be, I don't know. Normally, if you have someone as much talent as he's got, they act like a thug.
Yeah.
Can I say that?
Yeah, absolutely. And this guy has shown nothing but class in everything that he's done. These days, coaches and people like me, I get on there to his Facebook page and look and see what kind of a person they are. This guy seems to be really top-notch, and looking forward to talking to him.
Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air.
Those gals got that plow in the furrow now, don't they?
What's that?
the Cougar girls have got the plow in the furrow now, don't they?
Yes, they actually beat Gibbs by a score of 59-33 last night. The girls are playing extremely well.
Well, the Tennessee girls won big tonight, too.
What was the score?
80-something to 60-something. It was on Sports South. I didn't get to see any of it, but my sister told me.
Yeah, but it was just Florida.
Just.
Yeah.
That's the one they want to get. Next to Georgia and Bama
Yeah.
and Arkansas.
So you
The
have
Razorbacks are tough.
yeah, you haven't said anything about the phone line. You can hear us extremely well tonight, right?
I can hear you good.
Well, we finally got our phone issues taken care of.
Well, if you just keep eating all that Italian food and all that stuff down at Charlie's and all that stuff, I don't know what's going to happen to you.
Well, if I don't do what Brent's doing, I'll tell you what's going to happen to me. I'm going to blow up.
Just keep on keeping on, all I can tell you.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am, we sure will.
All right.
Bye. Yes, the Campbell County girls beat Gibbs last night by a score of 59-33. The men's team lost by a score of 77-69. We was going to have Coach Housley call in tonight, but he's had other plans. Also, I was going to have Mr. Parker, the voice of the Cougars, call in tonight, but he is running behind schedule as we speak, so we couldn't get either one of those young men on here. But we'll have Jalen Manning after the break. So we'll talk to him about his visit that he had at University of Cumberland. Am I saying it right? University of Cumberland.
That's correct.
And
I'm sure he'll be having a lot more. He's a extremely powerful young man. I mean, very, very strong, very talented, and like I said, good Christian young man. And I think he'll be successful wherever he goes.
absolutely. Also, did you hear about the fact that NASCAR has changed? And we're 2 weeks away from signing all of our recruits.
That's right.
I'm sure I could talk about something else besides NASCAR, but NASCAR has changed it up.
Well, I actually am excited about something.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I actually found the new car shapes, the new style of the car. Was it Generation 6? Is that what
Yeah, Gen 6 car.
Gen 6. I really like it.
Really?
Yeah. It's got me excited. I'm really, you know that I'm not a diehard fan. I really enjoyed going with you to Talladega. Great time, and I'd like to go something like that again. But I've never been a huge fan. But I've got to say, when the cars start looking like, when a Ford looks like a Ford and a Chevy looks like a Chevy, I'm interested more than when they all look the same.
Right, exactly, and that goes back to what they had back in the old days of stock car racing.
Right.
And that's really what that meant. But the way the qualifying is, instead of going out in single car qualifying, now if it's a track that's 1.25 miles or larger, then they will go out and they will run around. They'll drive around the track as fast as they can for 25 minutes. The 24 top fastest cars will move on to the next round.
Ooh.
The next round, the 12 fastest cars will move on, and the next round after the 25-minute round is 10 minutes. And during that 10 minutes, when you're out there driving around the track, racing around the track, because that's exactly what it's going to be like. It's going to be like a race. When you're out there racing around the track for 25 minutes and you're one of the 24 fastest cars, you'll move on to the second round of 10 minutes.
I don't see how that's fair.
Really, why?
Well, if you've got the entire field out there, how many did you say the first time? 24.
The 24 fastest cars will move on to the next round.
Okay, so the entire field, it goes out like a race with 43 cars or however many cars they have?
Yes.
How do they decide who's first? And how is it fair if you've got the fastest car but you're starting in the back? There's no way you're going to make it to the front in 25
You don't
minutes.
have to pass all those cars. It's your time. It's your time that you go around the track.
Yeah, but you got people in front of you.
Exactly.
You've got things that could change all that.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Here's the way it's going to work. They're all going to go out, and during that first 25 minutes, the top 24 cars will move on to the second round, which is 10 minutes. Now, if you was not one of those 24 fastest cars, they will put you in order from 26th on back to 43. So if you're out there running and you're not one of the 24 fastest cars, but you ran a time that was fast enough for 36th out of that 43 cars, you're going to start 36th. Now, the second round is only 10 minutes long, and it's got 24 cars, and those 24 cars, whoever has the bottom 12 lap times,
The 12 lowest times, right?
12 lowest times will qualify 13th on back. And then the top 12 cars will go out there and race for 5 minutes or qualify for 5 minutes, and whoever is the fastest out of those top 12 cars will be the pole award winner. That will be in sprint, Craftsman Truck, and Nationwide Series.
What's the purpose? Is it to speed up the process?
I don't know if it's to speed up the process or allow everybody else to have a legit shot to qualify where they need to qualify in race trim where everybody's going to be at, because a lot of these will qualify in qualifying trim where they will lighten the car up, put very little gas in it, so on and so forth, put tape on the nose, and they'll go out there and they'll run one fast lap and boom, they're on the pole.
Right.
This, you can't put a lot of tape on your grill because your car is going to overheat. You got to put plenty enough gas in it to run 25 minutes or you're going to run out of gas.
Right.
So it's a different scenario. It's more like a race type qualifying than it is a qualifying trim.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, I understand that. But I think that will also help. A lot of times people, they don't get to qualify. Let's say that there's rain in the area and it takes so long to qualify. One car at a time and all that.
Right.
This might speed it up to where they can actually get qualifying in pretty quick.
Exactly. Folks, I think my producer is ready. Maybe. Are we ready for a break, producer? I guess not.
I don't see him.
I don't see him in the control room.
We will not be taking a break just yet.
We will not be taking a break, and we're going to continue on.
Yeah.
So,
to continue on with what you were saying, I think that might make it more exciting. I mean, you occasionally have wrecks, and I know people are probably going to say, think I'm crazy, but I think a lot of people watch racing to see the wrecks. I mean, they're exciting, and of course you don't want to see anybody get hurt, but it's amazing what those cars can do and what they can handle and they can walk away from, and that certainly gives an element that wasn't there before. I mean, occasionally you have somebody lose control, on a lap, but that'll definitely change things.
Well, our producer has shown up, folks, so we're going to step away for a short commercial break. You're watching Just Sports.
WLAF Sports Network.
Clear.
Sorry about that, buddy.
That's fine. My apologies.
No, you're all right.
Time.
I don't have time in the bathroom to go. You should have gone before we left.
What?
No, I was just talking about, parents always say,
Oh,
should have
yeah.
gone before we left the house. Was Coach Kane ever committed to an interview?
Coach what?
Has Coach Kane ever committed to an interview yet? Jenny Bailey?
From who? Ask her from who?
She's talking about here to come have a. Has he committed to have an interview with us?
Stand by.
Oh, no. No, he hasn't.
Live in 3, 2, now.
Welcome back to the Thursday night edition of Just Sports. My name is Les Martin, along with the co-host of this show, Mr. Brent Allen.
That's me.
Jalen Manning's going to call, but before he does, have you seen the show? And once he calls in, we'll talk to Jalen Manning, and then we'll go back to what I'm about to say. But have you heard or seen the show Friday Night Tax? That's all I want to
I
ask.
have not seen it.
Have you heard anything about it?
I have. I've heard a few things about it. Texas, I believe.
Yes,
Yeah.
Texas. And let me tell you, it's brutal.
They're putting these kids through the ringer.
Oh,
Really.
absolutely. I mean, they run these kids until they vomit, until they spill the beans. And the coaches,
Drill sergeants.
they would almost coach like I would coach football.
That's why you don't coach football.
Exactly. Probably the same reason why you don't coach football.
Yeah. Oh,
Can I say that?
Absolutely. I think everybody knows.
It's one of those situations where it's one of those situations. Let's face it. Honestly, do I think it's overboard? I do think it's overboard.
Really?
Yes.
I look at it this way: if the kids, I mean, there are certain kids out there who respond to that better than others. Now, there's some. If the kids, if mom and dad is forcing them to come down there and they're crying, the whole time, they don't want to be there. No, take them home. They're not ready for it. But there are kids that really thrive on that sort of thing, and I think if they do, then it's going to help them so much in the future that it might be worth it.
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about kids that's 6 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old, that may not ever see a football field when they get to high school, in the NFL, in college. That's I don't understand it.
Well, I'll have to watch it to get a better idea. But
it's going to be right down your alley. You're going to be sitting on the edge of your seat, and you're going to probably be saying, "Boy, if you can't take it, get up." But I mean,
all of my boys just heard that and cringe as they've heard it before.
Oh my goodness gracious! I don't know. It's tough. It's one of those situations to where it's the most depressing show on television. That's coming from Fox Sports, of course.
The most depressing
show on television.
Wow. Well, they must be taking it to a level that I just can't fathom, because I can't see how it could be that bad. I mean, I believe you. I mean, I believe what you're saying.
I'll tell you what, I've got it recorded. I'm recording the series because I want to watch it. I really want to see it, because I can tell you, from what I've seen from the Campbell County Youth Football Program, we are behind times.
Oh, yeah. Well,
we are way behind.
Everybody's behind Texas anyway,
Well, exactly. I'm thinking that we need to hire some Texas coaches to come up here to teach our coaches.
Well, it's not only the coaches. I agree with that.
I mean, even the parents eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff, and
It's big.
They get out there and tell their kid, if you're not going to do this, you're not going to do this at home. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah. See, I don't agree with that. The only thing that I've ever said like that, and my kids would tell you, is that if you're not going to give 100%, don't bother. Now, I don't expect them to be the fastest, the strongest, the whatever. I mean, that's up to them and God and natural ability and all that. But I expect them to give 100% every play, every game, every practice. And, I just think it's too much to say either you score a touchdown, or I'm going to take your bicycle away from you, or whatever. Whatever the case is, that's going too far.
Well, I can tell you need to watch it. It's something else. It's heartbreaking to see. Yes, to see some of those kids.
I can watch them. I'm a sissy.
To watch some of those kids go through the things that they go through, and I was actually being facetious when I said we need to hire some Texas coaches to come up here and teach our coaches how to coach. That's not exactly what I meant. I mean, it is, but I was.
I know what you mean.
I was just being, facetious.
Of course.
Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air?
How you doing, brother?
Good. How are you doing, Edward?
I'm doing good. Brent, did you enjoy the banquet Saturday night?
Oh, I loved it. How about you?
Oh, I loved what tickled me to death is I believe that there was around 300 people, if not more, and they bring out more tables and chairs, and I love seeing my boys and just get the recognition Saturday night.
Yeah, great turnout. I heard around 350 people. That's amazing. In years past, you're looking at maybe yeah, I don't know, probably under 100 in most cases. That's great, and they did a great job on that video. Matt Price did a fantastic job on the highlight video that I believe you were in, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think I did, but something that nobody, if you wasn't there, doesn't know about is the song about the Cougars. The Terrys made a song about the Camel County Cougars.
Right. Exactly.
And if you ain't got nothing else to do on Saturday mornings at East and Western Pilot, basketball for Cougars in training. I coach with the Dwarfs Tire Shop. We invite you down to watch the little ones, because around, say, 8 to 6 years, you may see some of these young men and women playing for Camel County.
That's right.
I agree.
But I enjoyed, I missed last, but I enjoyed, and Peyton, I don't know if you mentioned this yet or not, but I'm going to go with Denver 2 weeks, a week from Sunday.
So you think Denver's going to win the Super Bowl?
I believe they'll win it by 14 points.
Whoa.
I think they'll win it by more than 14 points.
Wow.
I think they're going to blister Seattle, especially Richard Sherman. I want Peyton Manning to absolutely throw at Richard Sherman as many times as he possibly can.
Well, you know, they've talked about his neck, but I believe throw away the soreness in the neck, and Peyton's going to have his offense ready to play.
I agree. I think so. I think he will. I think that, I mean, let's face it, the Seattle team, and those who may not know this, there is a plethora of knowledge in our heads.
Absolutely.
So this is what I'm going to tell you. Not one member on the 53-man roster for the Seattle Seahawks has ever been in a Super Bowl.
Wow.
Not one. So that puts me in mind of saying this. How many times has Denver Broncos, Peyton Manning? Peyton Manning also will be the first starting quarterback. Not the first player, but the first starting quarterback to go to the Super Bowl with 2 different teams.
That's true.
And
go ahead.
To go for the win. To win. Now, Kurt Warner went with St. Louis Rams, and then he went with Arizona, but he didn't win that second one with Arizona. But if Peyton Manning can win this Super Bowl, he will be the first starting quarterback to have won a Super Bowl with 2 different teams as the starting quarterback.
Amazing stat.
Go ahead. I'll make this comment, and then I'll give it to you, lesson, Brent. But the question was asked after the game Sunday night, is the other quarterback better enough to win the Super Bowl? And a couple says yes, but you got to look at the experience on both teams, you know. And Peyton's been there once, but this mate's twice. And what's Big Earl been at? Oh,
Big Earl hasn't been around. I don't know. He must be out on the road.
okay.
He took the loss of Greg Brackett pretty tough, as much as everyone else did, as much as we did. He took it pretty hard. We took it pretty hard as well, but he took it pretty hard.
I think he's just taking a little time off.
Yep, he's taking just a little time off.
And before I let you go, when does let's see, college baseball and Cougar baseball start up? And I'll let you go. Go Cougars, go Vols, and I'll talk to you later.
All right, buddy. I'll see you. the Cougar baseball team, they will be, they're not starting already as far as their winter conditioning. I think that they are. They will be starting pretty soon because they will play baseball when it's still snowing weather.
Yeah.
So the Campbell County Cougar baseball team is just around the corner, and we'll have Mr. Brian Miracle. We'll be in contact with Mr. Brian Miracle as well, and hopefully have Brian Miracle on the show also. So it's one of those situations to where there's so many things going on, but there's very few of us.
That's right.
So thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air. How you doing, big girl?
Big Earl from Jacksboro is doing fine, fellas. How y'all doing tonight?
We're doing fantastic.
I'll tell you what, fellas, I'm excited about the Super Bowl. I want to throw something out. We all talked about this football, this youth football kids down in Texas.
Okay.
See what needs to happen. God needs to bring old Blackie, old little Earl back down to Texas and drop them in there and teach them. Because don't let those coaches come to the heart. Let Blackie drop down there and let him teach those coaches how the right way to act.
There you
How
go.
the right way to teach them kids. What do y'all think about that?
That's
a good idea.
That's a fantastic idea. Absolutely.
Well, right now, I tell you what, he'd straighten them out in a heartbeat, no doubt about it. And he'd teach us the right way to play football and the right way to act out of playing football.
It's true.
I agree. Have you had a chance to see Friday Night Talks, Big Earl?
I have not. I hear that. I've seen it. I saw the commercials, and that was enough for me, fella.
Wow, it's something else. And let me ask you this question. I know you're a Peyton Manning fan, so I would almost think to say that you would have to be going for the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl.
I tell you what, fellas, here's my trouble. This is the big old dilemma that he has when it comes to Super Bowl. In the history of Super Bowl, Israel was like 1 in 35. As good as I am at prognostication any other time of the year, I am the worst at Super Bowls in the history of prognostication. And you know why that is? I never cheer for the winning team. The only time I ever cheer for the winning team, I just do the vote for it.
Wow.
I'm going to use some reverse psychology, and I'm going to say Seattle's going to win this game 34-31. And I'll tell you right now, folks, just to let you know, Big Earl has predicted Denver to lose every playoff game they played this year.
Wow.
Oh, that's good.
And rolling with the reverse psychology, folks, it's a new spread that Big Earl has unfolded for this year's playoff.
Just keep peeling the onion back. So many layers.
Yeah,
Hey, you know what? Gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, Larry.
exactly. I agree 100%.
Okay, I gotta ask something now. I've been listening very long tonight. I just gotta confirm something. I gotta confirm me something. Did I hear Les use the word plethora?
He did. Use it properly as well.
Les don't know the fuck use that word. He keeps saying it. I don't see what he thinks.
Well, like I said, he used it properly. I was impressed. I wasn't going to make a big deal about it, but since you brought it up, that was pretty nice.
Well, I tell you what, I thought I was listening to some show like, New York City or something. Some hot flip guy was talking plethora. I don't know. I did look like we were in the dictionary and looked that up. I think isn't plethora that disease or something?
I actually, for a long time, thought it was some kind of cheese you put on pizza.
There you go. Yeah, I'll have a half pepperoni and half pizza.
Hold the plethora, please.
I want a plethora of pizza.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, that's not prediction. I'm going to predict the Seahawks to win, so we have to throw the gigantic guilt on the Seahawks. But I tell you what, you better watch what you wish for over there, Les, because it's pretty something. As much of a issue I'm saying in the world after the ball game and all the trouble it's in, that boy still went ahead of a defensive back and a quarterback, and I don't know if they're going to push the team that early. Because what you don't want to do is give them some confidence and that whole team to feed off of it. I say you're waiting for a while and then get him in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Avoid him and make him kind of lull him to sleep, making him think nobody's going to throw that way, and then burn him up.
That's right. That's what I would do. But hey, honestly, we're dropping the knowledge on the quarterback situation what was his stat a minute ago?
Peyton Manning will be the only quarterback, if he wins the Super Bowl, to have won a Super Bowl with two different teams starting quarterback.
I tell you what, I gotta lock my doors at night. I think that's sneak in my house and set some of the guys out of my phone. I gotta start watching, and I get some of the stuff steaming guard at night over me. So I tell you what, that's a pretty good knowledge there is.
Yeah, it caught me off guard. That was a good one.
I know it. That was all off guard. I tell you what, pretty sharp though. Hey, man, tell you what, excited. I will say this, you did say I'm a big Peyton Manning fan. I would say Peyton Manning is my second favorite quarterback of all time. Who do y'all think is my favorite quarterback of all time?
Condor Tollaway.
Well, that's big guess, no?
Who?
That would be the one and only from the running back position, Johnny Majors.
Oh, my goodness. I forgot.
Yeah.
Johnny Majors threw the football from the running back position. We're saying not just the quarterback, but he just said he's my favorite quarterback of all time.
So Johnny Majors.
If they had not been running with the single game, Johnny Majors would have been the starting quarterback, and he would have won not two, but 2,000 points.
Wow.
But you have it right here, sir. And just remember, he would be on my Mount Rushmore, not with
Yeah.
So just push off the back. I want to manage y'all, just so you know.
Oh, we had to forgot.
They do that big man too. So, Johnny Majors. But they won't stop now, so he's gone.
See you, buddy.
Attack.
Attack. Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air.
These young girls that likes country music dreams of singing with Willie Nelson. And my dream is that Peyton Manning will retire before they hurt his neck and bring his money and build him a place in Campbell County.
There you go.
I'm going to write him a letter when I get his address and invite him to.
Well, tell him it is one of the cheapest places to live as far as...
Well, not really the cheapest. I've heard that the big shots and the little shots can live here together.
Okay.
That's right.
All right.
Right. You fellas take care.
We're going to try our best. Bye-bye.
Actually, Tennessee was ranked number 3 in the whole country as the one of the freest places to live as far as your ability to guns and within the laws. So that's something else going for us. Maybe Peyton will check it out.
Yeah, and what I was going to say is it is, I guess cheap is the wrong word to say, isn't it?
Inexpensive.
Inexpensive. Thank you. You got another one?
Another word?
Yeah.
I'd have to think of something. You caught me off guard. No.
Okay. Inexpensive place to live because your property taxes is not near as high
Right.
as they are in Anderson County or any place else.
Yes, your tax burden in this county is much lower than the surrounding counties.
And we like it like that.
And
we need to keep it that way.
We've got all this lake water and mountains. I mean, where else can you get this?
I agree. 100%.
It's a great county.
Yes, it is. Hey, did you hear about Eli Manning trying to offer tips to his big brother Peyton?
Well, he has one more Super Bowl, so,
Brent.
Well, I'm just saying.
This guy has threw more interceptions this past season than probably Peyton has thrown in 3 years.
I agree. I don't think he has any relevant information to pass on to Big Brother there, but you have to admit he has won 2 Super Bowls. That's pretty impressive.
If Peyton played for the New York Giants, how many Super Bowls would Peyton have won?
8, I don't know, something like that.
Same way if Peyton played for the New England Patriots back in the heyday when they had Spygate.
Yeah, like if Barry Sanders played for anybody besides Detroit.
Right.
All kinds of,
Exactly. You're exactly right. I agree. I think Peyton's probably the best quarterback going.
No doubt. There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, I will admit that Tom Brady, as much as I don't like the guy, and I don't even know why, I'm not sure why I don't like him, but I just never have.
I have
maybe
never
he's just
liked
too
him
good
either.
looking. I don't know. Maybe I'm jealous. Maybe that's it. I don't know. He's got great hair. But whatever the situation is, I think that that no matter how you put it, and people are going, if you try to say, well, this is the best quarterback because Terry Bradshaw won 4 Super Bowls.
Yep.
Best quarterback? No way.
No.
Absolutely not. Not even in the same ballpark as Peyton Manning, and that's the issue. You can't go just on Super Bowls because of the surrounding cast. You got to look at that. You got to look at the defenses that your team has. I mean, if you put up 50 points, but the other team puts up 52, you did your job as a quarterback.
Right.
And I think that's been his issue all along. They've always had the offense. It's whether the defense can stop the other team.
And this is probably the best defense that Peyton has ever had, and that is at the Denver Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that?
I would.
I mean, all those times that he was at Indianapolis, and they made a big to-do about it, about Peyton being 10-11, 10 wins, 11 losses in the playoffs. Now he's 11-11, 11 wins, 11 losses. But here's the situation. How many other quarterbacks can say they've been to 22 playoff games in a 16-year career?
Right.
That's almost every year a playoff. That's
it's
more.
Yeah.
It's more. So they was making a big deal about Tom Brady if he won against Denver last week, that he would go and play in the 6th Super Bowl as a starting quarterback, the most of any starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, back in the day of Spygate, back in the day when he had a great defense, you remember those defenses?
Oh yeah,
they were tough. Peyton hasn't had the opportunity to have a defense like that. I mean, like I said, this is the best defense that Peyton has ever had.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even put it at a real high. I mean, as far as defenses go, I wouldn't rate it real high in the NFL. But as far as what he's had to deal with in the past, I definitely think it's the best.
I mean,
overall,
exactly. Denver's offense is number 1 offense in the league. Seattle's defense is number 1 overall defense in the league. It's going to be a great game. I think Peyton will pick them apart like Swiss cheese.
You think the fix is in?
The fix?
Yeah. I mean, look at it. It plays out so nicely. I mean, look at past Super Bowls. Harbaugh versus Harbaugh, or Ray Lewis is retiring. Ooh, they made it to the Super Bowl. It just seems kind of odd to me that these things have happened the way they have.
So you think it's fixed?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
And here's when I say fixed, I'm not talking about the players. I don't think the players have that.
Okay.
I think the owners. You got how many teams? 32?
32.
32 teams. So 32 men in a room, or women. I don't know if there's any women owners, but anyway, 32 owners in a room, and they said, look, so and so. This team's really bringing. I mean, what about when New Orleans, when the hurricane hit?
Yes.
They needed to win. They needed to win. They needed the revenue. They needed the spirit to bring back, and they did. And I'm not saying that that the players are involved, but guess who could be? The refs. And when you look at what happened recently,
that is go ahead. I'm sorry.
Over the weekend, I mean, the past playoff games. I mean, the last playoff games, there were some calls that were just. You cannot miss those. You can't miss those kind of calls and say that you're a professional referee, and they get paid well.
Oh yes.
There's no way that you can tell me that was accidental. No, I just don't believe it. Now, I'm not saying that this is definitely the situation. It's just kind of something to think about.
I've never thought about it that way, but I'm thinking if I was a player, and I know how competitive you are. If you was a player, I'm pretty competitive. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But if you and I were playing for a team that the owner chose to allow us to lose and not go to the Super Bowl, and knowing that we were the better team, and we found out about that,
it'd be bad.
Could you imagine?
But you know what makes it a lot easier?
What's that?
When
that
you
money?
Check your bank account, yeah. That's pretty much. I don't know. Again, I could be. I got this mostly from a guy I worked with. He brought it up. He started making some points, and it actually, unfortunately, kind of made sense. And if that's the truth, that would just really take away. It's hard for me to really get into NFL anyways because of all the prima donnas and the guys that are, making all this money and complaining because they have to show up for practice, or whatever. That takes away from it, and it certainly would take away from it if there were any kind of cheating going
on. Speaking of the NFL, Browns hire defensive coordinator Mike Petitton as the next coach. Now, This guy has not coached in any. Let me rephrase that before I step on my tongue. This guy has never been a head coach except for high school level.
Wow.
Yeah,
Is he an offensive coordinator?
defensive coordinator.
Defensive
Here's the deal. He's a defensive-minded coach because last year he was the coach of the Buffalo Bills, defensive coordinator. Prior to that, he was 4 years of defensive coordinator at the New York Jets. And all 5 of those years, his defense has been ranked in the top 10. But he's never been a head coach at all. Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air.
Hey, Coach Big Earl, I had to call back one more time. He's been listening. I will say this about Eli Manning. I think he can actually give Peyton Manning some advice on how to play in cold weather in Giant Stadium with the winds and it goes on up there. So I think he can give him some pointers along those lines.
I never thought about that. That's a great point.
Once again,
Of course, it's a great point. It's a Big Earl you're talking to.
I forgot, Big Earl. I'm sorry.
Of course it is. Hey, and also I'll say this. I love the conspiracy theories because if you're going to start talking conspiracy theories, you're going to have to give Big Earl about an hour on the show one night because I got about 400 of them.
Okay.
we'll work it out.
We'll work
Hey,
it
all
out.
right, fellas. Big Earl dropped the knowledge. He's gone again.
See you, buddy. I never thought about that, about playing in Giant Stadium.
Well, he brought up. I agree. That's an absolutely. I mean, that's my Big Earl's Big Earl. He's got the insight. That was very interesting and makes a good point. That's like telling somebody. I mean, if you're kids and you're playing hide and seek in your own backyard, you can tell somebody the good places to hide. It's
right.
Same principle there. Not necessarily a good analogy, but anyway,
it is a good analogy.
Yeah. So that's a great job.
Because the winds do swirl inside a Giant Stadium, or it's MetLife Stadium or whatever.
Maybe
it is.
there's a warm spot he can stand on the sideline.
Well, it's going to be in the 20s.
Yeah, and that doesn't play into his strengths. We know that. But guess what? The other team has to play in the same temperature. So
Exactly. Folks, that does it for our hour here on WLAF Radio, as well as 1450WLAF.com. Also, WLAF Channel 12. An hour's went by that quick. We didn't have a whole lot of subjects.
I know. And
we made it happen with a lot of help from the callers. Callers, we appreciate you calling in.
Absolutely.
For our executive producer, Jason Shockley, my name is Les Martin.
I'm Brunel. God bless and go Cougars.
WLAF Sports Network.
Clear.
What happened to Jalen?
I don't know. I hope he didn't get his time backwards because he's on Central Time.
Oh, that's true.
I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, I'm not running down. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll grab
Ain't no big deal.
dancing over there.
Thank you.
You leave it out here.
No, I actually had to bring it back here.